The case of Sudiksha is getting way more interesting. You see, authorities are now ramping up the heat here. They are now closing in. They want to find out what happened to Sudiksha. They're not taking no for an answer. You see, Sudiksha Konanki is just a student at a school, pre-med, who no one knows where she is when she disappeared on March 6th. But now authorities are ramping it up. They're heating it up. They're like, listen, we're not taking no for an answer. We need to find out who's responsible for this girl that is currently missing right now in the Dominican Republic. You see, they're trying to close their sight on Joshua, who was last seen with her, who was the only person who was with her last, who left her on that beach just hours later. And what's weird is he has conflicting reports. Mixed reports. See, the last person to see her was Joshua, who has given inconsistent statements about what happened. Initially claimed that they were swept out by the wave, but then he later changed the details into different interrogations. He did not immediately report her disappearance. Authorities have right now detained him. They detained Joshua and they seized his passport. The surveillance footage captures them together on the beach early that morning. With his inconsistent statements regarding the events leading up to her disappearance, initially he claimed that they were swept, but then he saved her. But then if you saved her, why did you leave her? Why did you leave her? I don't understand that. And her friends to confiscate her phones, her mysterious friends, knowing that she's intoxicated, why take her phone? Why leave her with a stranger? See, they traveled together, not with this mysterious stranger, Joshua, with her friends. But now her clothes neatly placed on the chair? The same clothes she wore on her trip out? Today we're going to dive in on this case on Sudiksha. And I want to get into the details. I got to show you guys some updates because now law enforcement is heating up this situation. And that's a topic that we're going to be discussing today. So do me a big favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you are brand new. My name is Noah, welcome to University. And we're here to talk about this case here. So let's get into the details. And I want to understand these updates. We're going to go from a little bit of a day ago till literally 2 hours ago from right now at 11:10 p.m. today, March 16th. Just a couple of hours ago of updates. I'll give you guys live updates with facts here. Let's get it, guys.
Grew up in Virginia. She is missing down in the Dominican Republic, taking a spring break vacation with 5 other friends of hers. They're staying at a nice hotel, and then the power goes out in the hotel in the middle of the night. A bunch of folks head down towards the beach, and then she is gone. So there's a lot of developments happening in this case. So here to walk us through all of this is Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who joins us. Cody, what is the latest update today in the search?
Well, Vinny, the huge update today is that Joshua Riibe is the now named person of interest in what's now being called as the biggest search in the Dominican Republic's history. Now, who is Joshua Riibe? He is 22 years old. He's a student at St. Cloud University in Minnesota. And also, he is allegedly the last person to see Sudiksha alive on the morning of March 6th in those early morning hours at around 4 a.m. Now, a statement from Sudiksha's hometown sheriff was released that says Joshua Riibe, 22 of Iowa, is a person of interest in a missing person investigation. This is not at this time a criminal investigation, so to be clear, he is not a suspect. It is our understanding that he is a U.S. citizen who was vacationing in Punta Cana not part of the traveling group with the missing person. A number of people have been interviewed by the Dominican National Police with the assistance of the FBI, and this is continuing. Our office will have a presence on the ground today too. This particular individual may have been the last one to have seen her, so is of particular interest. Please note the term person of interest is one that we are using in collaboration with the FBI. I can't speak to any designation the local police may give him or others. And of course, Vinny, that is from Chad Quinn, the PIO of Loudoun County. Now, for those of you who may have forgotten what Joshua Riibe looks like, here's a video right here. Here's the crowd of people, the 4 girls. Right here, this guy in the back, that is Joshua, and this is Sudiksha as the crowd walks to the beach in those early morning hours. And we'll pause the video right here. And this right here is more of a close-up of the new person of interest that we are talking about, Joshua Riibe, 22 years old, allegedly the last person to see Sudiksha alive. And we have a clearer picture that we grabbed from his LinkedIn. This is also him right here. Again, the last person, he was one of the people in the group that was walking out to the beach in those early morning hours on the beach around 5:50 a.m. when Sudiksha allegedly went missing.
Now, Cody, the thing that has struck, I think, all of us about Riibe is that there seems to be varying accounts or versions of what happened that night, right? So we see that he's with Sudiksha and, you know, has his arm around her and they seem to be together. What are these different stories?
So Vinny, as you mentioned, he is cooperating with the authorities, but there are 3 different stories that all have a common denominator that he's given the local authorities. The first story is that, you know, they were walking on the beach, they got in the water, there was a heavy wake, he swallowed a lot of water, got back up to shore, and then fell asleep drunk on a seat on the beach. The second story is that they were out in the water. He was a little sick from drinking all night. The rough wakes was kind of jostling him around. He got sick, went back up to the shore, and again, fell asleep on the beach, woke up, she wasn't there. And the third story is that the last he saw, they were having a good time on the beach, and she was wading around in knee-deep water. And he also, again, Vinny fell asleep on the beach, woke up, and she wasn't there. So they all have a common denominator, all have nuances that all leave room for speculation.
Hold on. So he got out the water, went to sleep. Did you guys hear that? Listen.
And the third, he was a little sick from drinking all night. The rough wakes was kind of jostling him around. He got sick, went back up to the shore, and again, fell asleep on the beach, woke up, she wasn't there. And the third story is that the last he saw, they were having a good time on the beach, and she was wading around in knee-deep water. And he also, again, Vinny fell asleep on the beach, woke up, and she wasn't there. So they all have a common...
That's the problem. Excuse me. That's the problem that I have with this, is that it's to me, it's the conflicting reports. It's you saying that she's wading in the water, knee deep, waist deep. You saved her. You didn't save her, but then you got out. You threw up. You passed out. What stories? What are we doing here? Like what is the truth? What is the straightforward story? Because all that you telling me could happened when it's inconsistent stories you're telling us, Joshua. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say, Joshua, it is you. You did this. You are responsible. They said you're not a suspect. So, as it was just said, you're not a suspect. That doesn't mean you didn't do this, or you know something, or you had something to do with this. Now, legally, I can't say that, but I can share my opinions. Your story is inconsistent. I don't follow it, and I don't like it. I don't. We're talking about a missing 20-year-old girl. There's been a lot of speculations online. The internet is saying he did do it. Majority of the internet saying that they believe he did it. A small part of the internet is saying that they don't believe so. When it comes to these accounts, how the situation unfolded with him being a stranger, leaving with her to the beach, hours later, come back out without her. That's strange to me. And let me tell you something. I have also read a lot of comments of people defending him, and I get it. I get it. You're proven innocent until guilty. One, you're innocent until guilty proven otherwise. 100%. I do understand that. But listen to me when I tell you, if they were both intoxicated and drinking, the man took how long nap, because she didn't sleep. She didn't get no rest. As hours was passing by, he's sobering up per hour. 4 to 8 p.m. You mean to tell me around 8:50 hours later, by you literally, you tell me that you didn't have a thought in your mind while sobering up to contact the staff to be like, hey, yeah, did you guys see a girl I was just with? Hey, guys, did you anybody on the beach? Anybody on the beach? Staff, anybody else? You mean to tell me that you couldn't contact anyone or ask for help? And here is the biggest red flag from this case where I was like, wait a minute. This is weird. Watch this. I think she said no and something took place, my opinion. He has a girlfriend, and the parents said, doesn't matter, Peggy, if he has a girlfriend. Okay, if he has a girlfriend, why is he hugging and tugging on her like that? Aggressively, might I ask? Like this. He's really aggressive with her, if you didn't see that. The parents could say one thing, but they wasn't there. He has a girlfriend, why are you hugging and tugging on her? That girlfriend shit, throw it out the window. Bye-bye. But here is the very, very, very strange part. If she drowned, why is her clothes on top of the chair? And if he would have saw her clothes, that would have been a red flag saying, where is she? Because why would she leave her clothes on the chair? You notice that it's another chair right next to it, right? So if he took a nap and he fell out, or whatever, if that was true, he would have saw this. Why didn't he say something? If he would have been like, oh, maybe she went back. Oh, I missed her. Maybe she went back to the hotel. Her clothes are still there, buddy. No. With all this happening, inconsistent stories, him leaving, not contacting anyone, waiting for them to get in contact with him, he didn't make the report. Her friends did.
Common denominator all have nuances that all leave room for speculation, including speculation by her father, who is.
I know it's a swimsuit cover, but that's not the point. She left without it. She left without it. Even if he assumed she left, he passed out. You would have seen the slippers on the sand and the outfit on the chair. Swimsuit cover. Doesn't matter. She left the apparel and the slippers. True, no, but he might have no things. He might have said no, and things got as much. Maybe. There's a lot of maybes. There's a lot of maybes, Peggy, and I understand. And I understand completely.
Traveled down to the Dominican Republic and is asking for a deeper investigation into human trafficking and or kidnapping.
All right, Cody, I know you're going to stick around. You got some more information for us. Let's bring in our think tank right now. Still with us, criminal defense attorney, former federal, not still with us, but joining us. Michael Sterling is with us, and Eklund Mercy and Josh Schiffer still with us.
Did Dad really say human trafficking investigation?
Potentially.
We have a missing woman, and I appreciate that, but let's just think for a minute about this poor gentleman, Mr. Riibe. He was on a vacation at a resort, drunk in the middle of the night. They all go down to the beach. He's out there, goes to sleep drunk, and a girl he was with is missing.
Wait, the girl that he was with, first of all, not a girl. It was the girl. They were together, number one.
Exactly.
Number two, they go into the water. And then he falls asleep. So he is saying that he has no idea what happened to her. In one version, there was a big wave and he, was struggling a little bit, got ashore and just fell asleep. How about if there's a big wave and you're struggling, Are you going to check on her?
Thank you. I said that, and not only that, he changed it. He said he saved her from a big wave. Then where is she? Get that nut. Stop it. Stop.
I haven't had a drink since 2008, but I'll start again just so that I can show you. You don't remember stuff great when we have totally legal intoxicating materials. It doesn't make for false statements. It doesn't make for hiding. Come on now, Mr. Former Federal Prosecutor.
Yeah, no, listen, I got to agree with Josh on this one at least a little bit. Like, Vinny, alcohol, clearly the common denominator in all three of his stories was that he was really drunk.
Well, the common denominator is also that I don't know what happened to her.
And that he fell asleep. Right?
And then I fell asleep.
Right, so what we know for sure is that he walked with her, right? Because we can see that on the video. They walked alone to the beach. We know that for sure. We know that he's admitted that he was drunk. They were all drinking, and we know that he fell asleep. And then there are other variations of the story between those. So the question really becomes, Vinny, what happens in that period of time where they go to the beach? Does she get in the water? Do they get in the water together? Does he pass out?
I think in all of them, they're both in the water. The variance is, why does he leave the water? In one scenario, it's because there was a big wave. Another one, he was feeling nauseous. And then in the other one, he just left the water and she was just splashing around in the knee-deep water.
And he may not remember, Vinny. I mean, he's a college student.
Well, if you don't remember, can you say I don't remember?
You could, or you could.
How can you say you don't remember, but you remember play-by-play of the events that took place when you led her to that beach? That's the confusing part. This is the problem that I'm not only having, but a lot of people. I have been drunk before. I can still remember accounts. I can still remember stuff. We're talking about a young adult. We're not talking about a 40, 50, 60-year-old. He's young. He's young. Mind you, even the friends remember accounts. So if the friends can remember specific things, actually, majority, she was even interviewed. One of her friends, she was interviewed. She remembers. He remembers play-by-play of what happened in the ocean, but then saying passed out. He remembers saying saving her life, but then switches the story. How can you remember by switching the story twice on different accounts? I'm sorry, just my opinion, the drunk stuff, throw it out the window.
Could be trying your best to recall to be helpful to the authorities since he's cooperating.
Remember, the authorities are specifically trained in highly coercive interviewing
Eklund
techniques.
is being suspiciously quiet. Let's listen to Eklund for a moment. You have an opinion. I know you have an opinion.
I do have an opinion. I think that, so here's the thing. If we're drinking, then he would have said that they both were drinking, right? Then if they were drinking, they were they were drunk. You don't just become drunk, right? It's a slow. It's like a steady rise. Then you're in the water with her, right? And if we don't, it's at a resort. So we're going to have recordings. We're going to hear, hey, where did she go? Where did you go? What happened? I can't see her. Even if you're drunk, even if you're pissed, even if you're really bad, you're going to say something or acknowledge the presence or lack of presence of somebody that you're dealing with. And we don't have any of that.
Yeah. And I think the reason the father's saying trafficking is because he said he fell asleep and didn't know what happened. So now you've got a girl alone on a beach at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. So, I mean...
And I think he wakes up or at least he comes back like 3 or 4 hours later.
Right.
So it's...
After a snooze on the beach.
So it's at least reasonable that you fell into a drunken sleep. She was in the water. You don't know what happened. You come back to your room. He may have thought she just left him drunk, sleep on the beach, and returned to her room. And he may have been just as shocked as anybody else. I'm just saying that's plausible as well.
Absolutely is.
And there's no probable cause that he did anything. She's not there.
There's not even a criminal investigation. So but he's a person of interest because he's the last known person to be with her alone on the beach at 5 a.m. And he just fell asleep and can't answer the questions.
The good thing is that he is fully cooperating, answering questions, or at least trying.
That is very true. 100%. I'm not here to completely give the red flags. I'm here to give you the facts. He is cooperating. That is very true. He is cooperating, chat. I'm not going to say I give him that, but that is something that he is doing. He is cooperating. They are both on camera vomiting at the bar. Yes, Messy Ball. That is very true. Thank you for the $1.99. They are both vomiting. As I read, excuse me. I read that. I have the video as well. Yes, I did read that. Correct. But I don't think that doesn't. In my opinion, vomiting it just tells me they ingested something that their body got rid of instead of digesting whatever that was, and it could have got worse. You're throwing up. Like, could it be like possibly ate something bad or drunk a lot? Absolutely. Absolutely. But does that mean that they are unaware, especially when people have taken accounts for their actions? I mean, if I was blackout drunk, I wouldn't remember anything. I have been a lot. A lot. Many levels of degree. Almost alcohol poisoning for a YouTube channel. Let's not talk about that. I have been. I have thrown up. Even with 4 beers, I have vomited. 3 shots, 4, 5 shots of tequila, I have vomited. There's a level of degree of how much drunk. And we currently, or you, don't know that. We don't know that. Maybe if the bar was to cooperate and they can give receipts or look at the cameras like to see how much they ordered, maybe we can kind of get an idea. But again, that can only so much play a role. It's only going to tell us how drunk they are and how the drinking can influence their decisions. But as we already know, this is by fact that everyone, except for Sudiksha, may she rest in, if, she disappeared or wherever she may be, I hope she's safe. She's the only one that can't tell us. But these individuals, friends and Joshua, they have literally told us their accounts. They have, I would, if I was drunk, if I would have been like, dude, I don't remember. But there's just massive red flags when it comes to his statements, and it's just not good. Now, people don't like her friends. I understand that. I do understand. I have no idea. I don't understand how her friends could leave her with somebody she doesn't know and take her items. What? I don't understand that. I don't get that. That part I don't understand. But I'm giving everyone a voice here. I'm listening to even Joshua. I'm listening to the friends. I saw the interview. We watched it. I saw another interview in private with the friends. They're cooperating as well. That's awesome. Do we need that? We need that. Absolutely, we need that. I want to listen to this video about what we know about Joshua and Sudiksha so far. But I'm loving the comments, and I see the comments. I see you guys disagreeing and agreeing with each other. That's awesome. All opinions are welcome. I am not saying he's guilty or something or not. The whole thing is strange. It is, Messy Bull, 100%. Messy Bull, I agree with you. Even who's somebody's comment? It was earlier. I think it was Kristen or Brown Sugar. I forgot. I don't know. They said that this is not a crime investigation, and it's not. It's not. These are the professionals. They're doing the job. But we can still have our opinions to better understand and attest the situation. It is fishy. We can all agree that this is strange. This girl, missing without a trace. She leaves her clothes, her flip-flops. He mixed up his story. Friends leave her, took her phones and wallet. What? We can all agree this is a bit peculiar. Can you agree with that? Yes or no in the comments. It's a bit strange, right? It is fishy.
This spring break trip to the Dominican Republic went horribly wrong. It's been over a week since anyone has laid eyes on Sudiksha Konanki, who likely drowned in the Caribbean, but authorities haven't ruled out foul play. Here's everything we know so far and details on the last person to see her. On March 6th, around 4 p.m., University of Pittsburgh pre-med student Sudiksha Konanki, aged 20, was reported missing. Her group of 5 female friends had flown to the DR for some fun in the sun. They stayed at the 5-star Riu Hotel and Resort in Punta Cana, where they became friendly with some guys. 12 hours before she was reported missing, surveillance video shows Konanki arm in arm with a man and 2 women behind them as they stroll to the beach in the wee hours.
At around 4:30 in the morning, showing 20-year-old Sudiksha Konanki with friends and a young man. Now, authorities say that after a walk to the resort's beach early that morning, the friends later returned Konanki and the young man staying behind.
Sudiksha stayed behind with Joshua Riibe, age 22, a senior at Minnesota's St. Cloud State University. Riibe is now a person of interest in the case, although his family says he wouldn't hurt a fly. He shared his side of the story with local authorities. The two went for a night swim. They talked and kissed while waist deep in the water when suddenly a big wave knocked both of them over. Riibe says he played lifesaver and pulled her out, that it was difficult, and he ended up vomiting up seawater. That's when the pair allegedly parted ways. She went to retrieve her belongings, and he passed out on the beach until morning. Riibe was
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
knocked both of them over. Riibe says he played lifesaver and pulled her out, that it was difficult, and he ended up vomiting up seawater. That's when the pair allegedly parted ways. She went to retrieve her belongings, and he passed out on the beach until morning.
But her belongings was... This is the inconsistency that I keep telling you guys. This is what I don't like. I don't like. I want to play fair here. I want to listen. He vomited. Seawater, allegedly. He pulled her out. They parted ways. She went to go get her items. What? It was there. And she disappeared. You're telling me after she was drowning and all that, she decided to go back into the water? What?
Riibe was a former pool lifeguard and a star 195-pound high school wrestler. In a resurfaced 2021 video, he talked about his involvement in sports and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
For school, I'm involved in football, wrestling, track, and baseball. And then I also do FCA. And outside of school, I just go to my church youth group. Last year I made it to state, so I'd like to repeat that again this year. Except this year I'd like to come back with a medal.
However, when grilled by local police, Riibe declined to answer 8 key questions, giving the same 14-word response each time. My lawyers advised me not to answer that question, and I followed their advice. Questions included if he knew she knew how to swim, and if he informed anyone, the hotel, authorities, or a friend, about what happened on the beach.
You didn't answer that question? The first one, how can you know? I do understand, but that one, that second one,
Adding to the mystery, Konanki made 2 cryptic Venmo transactions just hours before she went missing. One had an emoji of a sailboat, and the other referred to Coco Bongo, a popular Punta Cana nightclub. Konanki's father flew to the DR and has filed a criminal report. The family, originally from India but now live in Virginia, suspects she was kidnapped. They claim that if she had truly drowned, her body would have washed ashore by now.
Well, yes. So I did a little bit of research on that, by the way. I wanted to learn. I went back to the old case that I went by. This is similar to, I know, Natalie, I get it, guys, but Riley Strain when it comes to the water. Now, I did my research and I dug in some old notes. Majority of the cases, the body does return to the shore, or if not float. Majority of the time, but it can still sink depending on environmental impacts and all that. So that I do understand. Another statement that I read on this case was He said, and I'm not gonna quote, but he said, let me see. Let me look it up real quick. I think it was, no, it was, I want to be correct here. I don't want to mince words or, okay. He and Sudiksha were in the ocean together when a large water pulled them out to sea. Joshua, who has lifeguard experience, claimed he held Sudiksha under his arms and swam to bring her back to shore. Upon reaching knee-deep water, he began vomiting due to swallowing seawater. He assumed that she retrieved her belongings and left the area. And that is the exact information that I got from 4 different sources. Actually, 5 different sources, and they all match up. Wait a minute. It's important to note that he has reported his accounts. Authorities have reported he has inconsistencies in his statement. As of now, there is no independent verification of his accounts. Although, okay, not a suspect, he is still, okay, yeah. So yeah, it's not looking good. It doesn't look good for him at all. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it was Venmo. Thank you. Oh yeah, guys, do me a favor before we continue. I'm so sorry. I'm loving everybody's. We're working together here. I love it. I love it. I'm seeing the comments. I'm loving it. Yes. Who said that? There's an affidavit. What? That's you don't lie on the. If you lie, you know if you lie on that, you're in trouble. That's true shit right there. Well, depending on what he says, but the affidavit, you don't. That's statement right there.
The last person to see a missing college student from Loudoun County is telling police what he remembers about the minutes leading up to her disappearance.
His name is Joshua Riibe. The young man said a big wave swept him and Sudiksha Konanki into the sea, but he helped her get back to the shore. The new details were revealed in the transcript of the interview Dominican Republic investigators conducted with Riibe Wednesday. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey joins us now in the studio with more on what he had to say to investigators. Julie?
Well, first of all, the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office has called that 22-year-old senior from St. Cloud State University a person of interest, but the Dominican Republic authorities, they are not using that term. The detectives from Loudoun County also did what they call an extensive interview with him yesterday. No details from that yet, but it is a transcript from the session with Dominican authorities that's providing new information about this spring break mystery. A photo obtained exclusively by NBC News of the interview with Joshua Riibe. He's the last person known to have been with 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Konanki. He says he and a friend introduced themselves to Konanki and her girlfriends at a bar where the group drank pink tequila shots, then went to the beach in the early morning hours. He said 2 of Konanki's friends sat on beach chairs, but he says he and Konanki waded into the ocean, telling investigators, quote, "We were in waist-deep water, talking and kissing a little. Next, he said, a big wave came and hit us both, and with the rising water, it swept us out to sea." The investigator asking, what happened next? "As soon as we were able to surface, we tried to call for help, but there was no one there," said the young.
Now, with the water being waist deep, that can, on that account, with Capri Smith, thank you for the $4.99. She says, get membership on hold, getting a new car. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Caprice. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With the water being waist deep, that can take you. That I do understand. So on his account, her being smaller, lighter, without water, I can see how that can potentially take her though. That I can see 100%. But still, that doesn't mean it did, because she's nowhere to be found at all. And It's not good.
Young man. Riibe says he then used his lifeguard training to get them both back to shore, adding, I swallowed a lot of water. I could have lost consciousness several times. When I finally reached the ground on the beach, I pulled her in front of me.
Oh, in front of her. Oh.
She wasn't out of the water as it was up to our knees. She was walking at an angle in the water. The last time I saw her, I asked if she was okay. I didn't hear her answer because I started vomiting all the seawater.
Wait, what? What the wait a minute. Dude, hold on, man. See, I was understanding you, but this fucking statement, and this is quote, she wasn't out of the water as it was up to our knees. She was walking at an angle in the water. The last time I saw her, I asked if she was okay. I didn't hear her answer because I started vomiting. If you didn't hear her answer, why didn't you go back? Oh, dude, no, stop this. Okay, time out. Wait a minute. This is fucking stupid. Now this is getting stupid. Why didn't you get help then if you didn't hear her answer? Bro, what is, and that's a quote. Yo, I'm trying to give him a chance and I'm listening. I am listening. No. That was fucking dumb. That is, no. I asked if she was okay. I didn't hear her answer because I was vomiting. And then you left. Yo, dude, get the fuck out of my face, bro. If you didn't hear her answer, you know what this sounds like? I'm going to say something. You know what this sounds like? It sounds, and I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it. This almost sounds like, I'm not saying it is. This sounds like it's the way that she drowned and he couldn't find her. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like he couldn't find her and he just left. He couldn't do it. And he feels responsible. That's what this sounds like. Yeah, drowned, whatever it may be. He couldn't find her. He couldn't save her. He left. That's what this shit sound like. That's what this sound. Yo, this sounds like. It sounds like you left her, bro. It sounds like you left her. Now, I cannot say that it's like that's actually what happened. It's just my opinion. This is ridiculous. This contradicts. Now I know what the authorities are talking about now because you are inconsistent. Joshua, you are very inconsistent, man. Now I know exactly what they're talking about because this is ridiculous. This statement is ridiculous. I didn't hear her answer. But then what? She was walking out of an angle, but you have visual so you saw her? You knew visually that she was walking at an angle out of the water? You saw her. You just confirmed that, but you didn't hear her? But you ignored that? What, bro? What?
Water I'd swallowed. Riibe told investigators after becoming ill, he looked around, didn't see Konanki, and assumed she'd left the beach. He fell asleep there and didn't return to his room until 9:30 that morning. The investigator asking, "How did you find out the girl disappeared?" The witness replied, "My friend asked me if I knew where the girl was. I told him I thought she'd gone to her room, and he told me she never returned."
But her slippers. Oh, I can't.
On the advice of his attorney, Riibe declined to answer a number of questions, including what he thought about Konanki's disappearance. The extensive search for the missing pre-med student continues.
Now, Joshua Riibe's parents just issuing a statement this evening, reading in part, "We express our deep sorrow and solidarity with the family of Sudiksha Konanki during this painful time. We share the hope that Sudiksha will be found as soon as possible." His parents also say their son has been fully cooperative, but has, quote, been detained under irregular circumstances and kept under police surveillance in his hotel room. They also expressed concern that he had been questioned before that Wednesday interview without proper translators and legal counsel, and they say that is why they have now hired an attorney there to represent him. And one last footnote, you may notice that we're no longer showing that security camera video of Konanki and Riibe. Her parents have asked that it not be used.
This is wild, man.
New details coming to light.
That right there, man. That. This kid is I get it, man. If you're a fucking 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, you can mess up stories. It happens. You're nervous. He could be nervous too, but you're an adult, man. You're 22 years old. There's no pity for you, bro. There's a lot of holes there, man. A lot of holes there, and I don't like that statement. And that was in quotes, by the way. That was in quotes. I don't know, man.
All right, Interpol.
Guys, do me a big favor. Whoa, almost 1,000 people, 338 likes. Come on, people, come on. Who said this is a government cover-up? Who? Comments are going fast. Well, a lie detector. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna be doing? Let me show some comments, guys. Please respect other people's in their opinions. If people even disagree, even in my opinion, they have a right to disagree. That's their prerogative. We all don't have to agree on the same thing. It's perfectly fine, guys. At the end of the day, no one could be right, not even me. You know what I'm saying? We all need to just work together to try to better understand this. But don't be biased. Don't be fake. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to these statements. Be put in that position. If you really want to help here, if you better want to understand this, understand the situation, you know? Understand it. Be there. Think. If you were drunk, if you was there, be the guy, be the girl. Understand this. I feel so bad for her parents. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Out of all this, I do. Cindy. Yes, I do. Yes. 100%. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I really do feel bad for the parents. At the end of the day, they just want their daughter back. Let me get these comments on here. I'm loving these comments. You guys are killing it. Thank you for Bernie. Thank you for thanking her. Oh, Cindy, thank you for the $19.99. Did I even say thank you? Thank you for that. I really, 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 really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Is there a shark or a whale activity? I explained that in the last video about the shark activity. It's a very, very low probability. I recommend you guys go watch the video that I uploaded if you haven't seen my first video on this. I have done a lot of research on this and a lot of hard work. So if you haven't watched it, please watch it. Shout out to YouTube. They pushed that video out, by the way. They messaged me. They said they loved the video. They're pushing it out. It's about to hit 10,000 views. And it was a re-upload. That's amazing. Shout out to YouTube for that. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for the support. Okay, let's get back on track now. Let's see here. We got the comments. Speaking about that, I got to go to the YouTube studio downtown. Okay. Okay, let's go. Guys, do me a favor. I'm not sure if I said this already. I probably did. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't. If you are brand new, welcome to University. This is a true crime trending topics podcast. We talk about anything from true crime or trending topics. Hit the like button if you haven't. And welcome, new subscribers. I really, really appreciate you. Let's get back on track.
All right, Interpol has issued a global alert for the University of Pittsburgh student who went missing in the Dominican Republic. Interpol is the interagency police operation that investigates crimes abroad. They now say that they're investigating all possibilities of what could have happened to 20-year-old Sudiksha Konanki. She was last seen on a beach, you'll recall, in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, more than a week ago. And that is where CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez is following all the latest developments. So Manny, it's kind of intriguing to a lot of people. Why is Interpol investigating when, as far as we know, the young man who was last spotted with her says that they went out into the ocean, they got swept up in a big wave. He doesn't remember what happened next. He passed out on the beach.
That's right. It's really because the family and even people in the United States, elected leaders, have been pushing for this investigation to be a very large one, to not just look into the possibility that it may have been an accidental drowning, but perhaps foul play. Officials here on the island say they are looking at all of that. They're not ruling that out. But at this point, this remains only a missing persons investigation. As you mentioned, that young man who was last seen with her, he is also an American. He has been cooperating with police here. He told told authorities that they were taken over by a big wave when they were in the water in the early morning hours of March 6th. But there are still so many questions about what could have happened to her, where she could be.
And of course, it's the weekend. New batch of spring breakers are headed to the Dominican Republic, probably headed to that very resort where that young lady disappeared. Any impact on the island's tourism? I saw a piece on Inside Edition, and you were on Inside Edition, where they just showed the kind of partying that goes on at the resort that this young lady was staying at. What are you seeing with your own eyes?
You know, we're not really seeing an impact. I think most of the people who are here, whether they are families or spring breakers, view it as a sad but isolated incident. That being said, it does weigh on people, and they're very curious to find out the outcome here. But again, investigators say they're doing everything they can. We were with them yesterday as they were launching drones. They've been flying with helicopters. They've had divers in the water. Just no sign of her yet.
All right, Manny Bajorquez for us from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Thanks, Manny.
Still no signs of her yet, but I wonder if I want to speak about his passport situation. We're going to speak about that.
Retired FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon, who was actually the first full-time diver in FBI history and helped establish the Bureau's underwater forensic program. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Sure, Alex. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we know investigators in the Dominican Republic initially believed Sudiksha had drowned, but have since said that this could extend beyond an accidental event. From what you know so far, does this look like a drowning to you?
You know, it's really a close call for me right now. I mean, it could happen because in that same resort in January, we did have 4 tourists kind of knocked over by a wave. I believe 2 may have perished and two survived, but the 2 bodies were recovered quickly. The thing that makes me think it may not be a drowning is the body probably would have been recovered by now if she had drowned in that immediate area. She would have drowned very close to the shore, and the body would not, I would think, drifted that far by the time the authorities got onto it. I'm not an expert in the currents and the tides there, but I would think that the body would have been found by now.
Yeah, we do know that there were multiple drownings earlier this year, and I was wondering if that was the case, if bodies would very, very quickly resurface on the shore. Let's talk a little bit about this man who was last seen with Sudiksha. We do know that he's not being considered a suspect or a person of interest. He has been cooperating with investigators, but we also know he declined to answer 8 of the questions about the case due to his advice that he was receiving from his lawyers. Some of those questions include informing authorities and telling his friends about the incident, as well as any gestures or cries Sudiksha might have made when she was in the water. You're a former FBI agent. What stands out to you about this information?
2 things about this most recent kind of interaction with the local authorities when he kind of lawyered up, as we say, when he refused to answer questions on advice of his counsel is, number one, some of those questions that he refused to answer, he had already answered before in other interviews. And it's amazing that, or it's kind of curious to me why he refused to answer at this point. And now he previously answered, now he's refusing to answer. The second point is that they asked him about statements to his friends, that whether he made statements to his friends. That leads me to believe that they've talked to those friends and they might have gotten conflicting stories from those friends, conflicting with what he told authorities in previous interviews of his. So now they're going back and saying, well, did you ever talk to friends? So I'm thinking that they've spoken to those friends and he may have said something to those friends that's different than he told the authorities. And so now they're going back to him and saying, did you talk to this person? And because they've already talked to that person and they've gotten what that person says he told them. So it's kind of an interesting question to me to ask. You wouldn't really ask that question unless you've already spoken to those people and you know what they say that he told them, because he may have told his friends one story and he may have told authorities a different story.
Hey, Bobby, is that the reason why we're also seeing the latest reporting about his passport being confiscated? Is that just an effort to try to keep him where he is at the moment while this investigation continues?
Sure. You know, now that he has a lawyer, it's going to be harder to talk to him. And they know that if he gets back to the States, they may never have a chance to talk to him again. So, you know, due to his conflicting stories, it's kind of changed over time. It wasn't really significant in the beginning, but now by the time you're where he is now with his statement, where he was in the beginning, it's kind of significantly different. It kind of changed incrementally over several different interview sessions. And so that's why they really are interested in him, because the truth kind of never changes. Untruth may change. And so he's changed it a little bit to this point significantly enough in their minds that they want to keep him there as they gather more intelligence in the case, or more evidence in the case, if you will, from interviews with other people, from things that they might find, on that beach.
Hey, Bobby, what kind of interference happens when you have local law enforcement authorities, meaning the police in the Dominican Republic, as well as these swarming United States authorities like the FBI coming in? Is there any push and pull or infighting that might be happening that's actually delaying or slowing down the process of finding this college student?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, we don't really kind of swarm. We already have a presence in the Caribbean. We have agents stationed in the Caribbean, certain Caribbean nations full time, all the time. So we're a presence there, not in the Dominican Republic per se, but we do have people there on the ground all the time, and we just offer assistance. So we actually speed things up. If you need a dive team, our FBI dive team comes in. If you need investigators, if you need forensic people, if you need profilers or polygraphers,
right,
we make that all available. What happens is the people back in Virginia, the law enforcement in Virginia who don't have a case, who send detectives there and they have no standing to do any investigation, that kind of bogs things down and slows things down. I wish the Loudoun County Sheriff kind of would take more of a back seat in this thing, because they really have no standing. No crime has been committed in Virginia.
Right.
So that may slow things down. But the FBI, when we come in, we offer any resource available, and we just stand back and say, whatever you need, we're here to give it to you.
Thanks for watching. Go to
I love that. I love that. And that's why they're ramping up. And I'm glad they're working together that way, because dozens of people are on this looking for her. And that was very insightful information. And I'm glad he said this. It's really hard to try to get a clear understanding, because not only with mixed stories and them interviewing people, it's what is the correct story? What is the correct account? Now, Joshua is innocent, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get it confused. He's innocent. But he is a person of interest. It doesn't mean he's completely guilty, but it doesn't mean he had absolutely nothing to do with it. He's our main guy that they definitely interested in 100%, because he was the last one with her, especially mixed with stories, and he's a stranger. Red flags there. So I want to talk about looking into the accounts of this, the drowning. We're going to look at the video footage of the bar and then his passport. I have all of that information that I gathered up tonight with you guys. I wanted to make sure that I got my information. I was thorough with the information, and I was. So let's take a look, guys. We are almost there. YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. I would appreciate that so much.
Breaking news overnight, a new development involving the search for that missing spring breaker last seen 10 days ago on a beach in the Dominican Republic. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us live from Punta Cana with new details on the man investigators are questioning. Good morning, Ariel. We've now learned they've taken his passport.
Yeah, that's right, Janae. Officials consider Joshua Riibe to be a witness, and sources close to this investigation had signaled that he might have been able to leave the country as soon as Monday to get back to the U.S., but now they have his passport, and the questioning continues.
This morning, a new development in the case of missing 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Konanki. ABC News confirming Dominican authorities have confiscated 22-year-old Joshua Riibe's passport.
Police say he's believed to be the last known person to have seen her before she vanished. Sources tell ABC News Riibe was questioned much of the day on Saturday and into the late evening hours. For days, local authorities have maintained he is not a suspect. He has not been charged with a crime. Police previously saying he was interviewed as a witness to a possible accident, but now they say they are examining possible contradictions in his story. According to a transcript obtained by ABC News earlier this week, Riibe apparently told prosecutors that he and Konanki met the night before she vanished, partying and drinking with friends before heading to the beach, just the two of them, around 4 a.m. He allegedly said the two were kissing in the ocean when they were slammed by a large wave and dragged out by a strong current. It says he told officials that they both struggled to breathe and he tried to save her, saying, I was holding her under my arm and swimming. It was hard. I was a pool lifeguard, not the ocean. Then, when I finally touched the sand, I put her in front of me. Then she got up to go get her stuff, since the ocean had moved us. He added, she was not out of the water since it was up to her knee. She was walking at an angle in the water. According to the transcript, Riibe going on to say, I asked her if she was okay. I didn't hear a response because I began to vomit with all the water I had swallowed. After vomiting, I looked around and I didn't see anyone. He told prosecutors he passed out on the beach and awoke thinking Konanki had gone back inside. Hotel cameras capturing him returning to his room that morning. Police have said they believe Konanki likely drowned, but have not ruled anything out.
And again, Riibe is not considered a suspect, and this is still being investigated as an accident. His lawyers say they expect he will face more questioning on Monday. Gio?
Ariel, thank you for all your reporting.
Where's it at? I was holding her under my arm and swimming. It was hard.
It was a pool lifeguard, not the ocean. Then, when I finally touched the sand, I put her in front of
When I finally touched the sand, I put her
me.
in front
Then
of
she
me.
got up to go get her stuff.
She got up to go get her stuff.
Since the ocean had moved us.
She got up to go get her stuff. And she magically went right back. Or did she ever get out? She was at an angle, right? I don't get that. I'm trying to have some sympathy for this kid, man. Like I get it. He's intoxicated while trying to rescue her. That's wild. That's impressive even, but anything after that doesn't make sense. And also, you mix your stories up, bro. I just can't. My problem is I'm probably almost being biased. I'm trying to find a way to make his story sound like okay, he's right, but I got to stop that. I have to look at it for what it is, and it just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't.
Tonight, new developments in the search for an American college student missing in the Dominican Republic. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez is there with the latest in the investigation.
Good evening to you, a person with direct knowledge of statements made by Joshua Riibe to U.S. investigators say Riibe cannot be certain she came back out of the water after he says they went into the ocean and were overtaken by a large wave. Riibe was the last person known to be with 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Konanki on March 6th. They met on the trip. He has stated they were dragged out to sea in the overnight hours, that he struggled to save himself and Konanki, but then became sick from swallowing water and passed out on the beach, thinking she was out of the water but not 100% certain. Investigators are looking into an accidental drowning but not ruling out the possibility of foul play. After more than a week of searching by land, sea, and air, there is still no sign of her. Riibe is not considered a suspect at this point, and it remains a missing persons case and not a criminal investigation. But Nancy, a family attorney, says Dominican authorities did confiscate his passport as they continue to investigate.
Manuel,
you know what I want to do? That's tomorrow. You guys are going to love tomorrow's podcast because we are going to activate the phone lines. We're not done. I have some things to show you and the video. Actually, where's the video of them inside the bar? Let's put that on. Here it is. All right. Let's put this on before I go to the next video. But tomorrow we're taking phone calls. So get ready for that. We're going to have a podcast tomorrow. And I want you guys to literally call me because this case, I'm not playing with. This is not fair. Let's do her right. Regardless, if he did it or not, I don't know. No one knows. Stories are weird, but there's no proof. There's nothing. That's just the facts. But let's do her right. I want you guys are very intelligent, very smart, and I'm loving what you guys are saying. I'm trying to check in every now and then in the comments. It's hard. But when I see that 1 or 2 comment, I'm loving it. You guys are very intelligent. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Get ready for those phone calls tomorrow. Get ready for that. All right, so somebody said the fact that Sudiksha's clothing was left behind strongly suggests, in my opinion, she may have never made it out of the water at all. Joshua either doesn't remember that she was drowned, establishing details, make himself look like a hero. But I refuse to admit that she was drowned. Bada, bada, bada. Okay, now let's look at the video. Can I ask you guys a question? Was there any report from a statement saying that him and her threw up other than the video? Do we know that, or you guys do not know that? I mean, but he is bending over. Hold on, what was that? Oh yeah, he is, ladies and gentlemen, the boy is wasted. The boy is, I mean, he looks wasted, yeah. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. Wait, time out. There was only stumbling. That's all I... Wait, what? Yeah, but hey, he still made it out. He still made it out that beach along with her. I mean, the water, excuse me. Oh, but the times were different, though. Why people gotta make music out of shit? Like, I don't understand y'all. That's definitely her items. Chat, what do you say? Yes or no? And if you look closely, there was look how disturbed the sand is around this area. Look how disturbed that is.
In Punta Cana overnight, Joshua Riibe was back on the beach. Around 1:30 a.m., the 22-year-old and investigators walking the same general area where he may have been.
No, I did look it up. There was no accounts of them throwing up so far. There was no sources that said any of that. But I'm not saying that he didn't throw up. Understand what I just said to you, please. I am not saying that he didn't. There has been no documentation saying that he did. There was just that video that was released and then going off that accord. But did it look like he was puking? Kinda, yeah, it did. But my main focus is he was stumbling. That's what I saw. We all saw that. But I would say that he looked like he was puking better than her, to be honest. He was, yeah, he was.
The last person seen with Sudiksha Konanki, the University of Pittsburgh student who vanished more than 10 days ago. Meanwhile, in a statement first reported by NBC News, Riibe's attorneys allege his passport has been confiscated. He is permanently escorted by the police anywhere he goes. The country's national police have said no suspects have been identified. Meanwhile, Riibe speaking exclusively to NBC News at the resort where he's allegedly confined. It's the same hotel where Konanki was staying before her disappearance on March 6th. "I'm just trying to help them out," he said, adding the ocean is a dangerous place. NBC News also obtained this transcript from one of Riibe's interviews with investigators, which we translated from Spanish. Riibe telling authorities he and Konanki both almost drowned before he helped get her back to shore, but they were still in knee-deep water. "I asked if she was okay. I didn't hear her answer because I started vomiting all the seawater I'd swallowed.
Oh, God, I'm tired of hearing this. Like, honestly.
Felt really bad and tired. I lay down on a beach chair and fell asleep because I couldn't go far." Meanwhile, the search...
Wait a minute.
"I thought she'd grabbed her things and left. I felt really bad and tired. I lay down on a..."
That's bullshit, because her shit was still in the chair, and they took pictures of it. Nah. Okay. So, here's how this can go. Here's how this can go. Guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you are brand new. Here's the possible scenarios, and I think I may have to pull out the whiteboard for this. Number one, she drowned. Number two, she passed out in the ocean, and maybe somebody scooped her up. That's a possibility. See, her stuff was on the chair, but she's nowhere to be found in that ocean. She could have been a vulnerable female and someone scooped her up. You need to think about it. It's late, it's night. Somebody passed by, could have scooped her up. They saw a vulnerable girl, tiny, small. That's a possibility. Also, he didn't save her. They're on the beach and he didn't. He didn't report anything. Stories is inconsistent. He couldn't have saved her. That's another possibility. You guys got to remember, her items are on the chair. Her body's nowhere to be found. The guy comes back 4 hours later. He doesn't report her missing, but yet says that she got out the water and thought that she left. And another possibility, if he did pass out, somebody could have just took her while he was sleeping. But her stuff was still there. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, she was technically still on the beach, so that's understandable. It's a lot of different outcomes that could have led to her disappearance. It's trying to pinpoint what is the correct outcome. It's what's difficult. You know, I'm not a big fan of her friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a big fan of her friends. And just thinking about this girl, like, guys, I have to do hours of research and I have to go to bed with her image in my head every day. I have to go to bed to this. Even when I have to get off stream, I have to still study to do a podcast to make sure I get my facts correct. And her image is burnt in my fucking skull. And I have to think about someone like this who just wants to go on a vacation to just disappear. over a situation like this. I mean, I'm not a fan of her friends. Because I don't know why they would take her phone. Phone and wallet. That's so fucking stupid. You're adults, being adults. And I'm also upset that even after whatever scenario Joshua says, no matter what's the outcome, right? It doesn't give an excuse to why you never reported this. Period. Every time I think about that, I'm like, anything, any way you can think of this, right? I lost sight of her. I thought she left. Check up on her. You drunk with her the day before. Check up on her. No? Send a text message. No? Well, report it to the front desk. No? Did you ask anybody on the beach? No? Well, did you at least contact her friends to see if she... No? Well, did you call the police? No, no, her friends did? I can't. I've been trying to sympathize with him. I literally have. I'm like, this kid, he's probably like, I do see how drunk he is, 100%. But he accounted for everything. He brung her out to shore. He remembers distinctively what level of fucking ocean they were when he dropped. Goodbye. You remember that? Fuck you. How you remember? Come on, wait a minute. How did you remember the amount of... My guy, how did you remember that? I just thought about that. How did you remember this? How did you remember how far? Get the fuck out of here. Chat, I think I'm done for tonight. I can't do it. I think that's really stupid. That's really, come on now. I don't like it. Chat, I don't like it. Oh man, I don't like that. I don't like it, chat. I don't like it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I have been on this case and I'm digging this case's ass. I am going to do the best that I can to help her. I need to help her. I want to help her. Please, help me help her. You guys are phenomenal and I'm loving what I'm seeing. I want two things from you. When I end this podcast, after this podcast, I'm going to review all your comments. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go to my page, right? "11 hours later. Come on. Okay, if you go to my page, right? Go to my page and I uploaded the video. The truth about, Sudiksha. The comments I read here were phenomenal. And these are, and 30% of these people, they're not even subscribed to me. Actually, 41%. These read this. I was like, right, you're right. Even if they was on his side, I was like, that's true. He's right about that. They left with a stranger, intoxicated, without a phone or wallet, and her hotel had no electricity that day. Nothing. This guy had 3 to 4 hours to get rid of her body unless he was kidnapping. This is sad. Prayers for her family. Yes, prayers for her family. Absolutely. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna you have a crown. Pam Jarrett. Yeah. He is a Vander Slut. Same thing happened to the sweet girl. Oh, Natalie as well. So Slick says, Joshua saved her from drowning. Then he see her go back in the water and she just disappeared again like that? Yeah, okay, Josh. That part is hella sus. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Her friends left her with a stranger. They're going to be guilty forever. But it looked like young girls, they really just never had this open freedom. Awareness, humbled, maybe naive. That's true. not to think something could have happened to them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, I like this. See this? I love it. Put your brains together. I'm gonna read all your comments. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna love it. Even somebody said that, but all right, Joshua seems to be cooperating. That's very true. He is, and that's good. That's real good. That is good. Some criminals don't even cooperate. They don't want to say shit. If they have nothing, if there's no evidence, they don't have to. Yeah. And also by him throwing up seawater, that has even happened to me. That does happen. That definitely does happen. I have drowned like twice. Not successfully, but almost. And not threw up, but ugh. Like it's right here. So I do understand also in Joshua's case. Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. It was dark that night. They got into dark water. Wait a minute. Hold on. They got into dark water. That was 4. Hold on. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. With the case of Sudiksha, right? They went to Punta Cana. What time at this current specific date in mind, month, this week, what time does the sun is right about to start rising at Punta Cana?
On March 6, 2025, sunrise in Punta Cana was at 6:48 a.m. local time.
Fuck! Because 5 o'clock, that would leave an hour and 48 minutes precisely. No, an hour and 53 minutes precisely of darkness, but then it starts to get light at that time. That's when it starts when the 6 local time at March 6. But you rescued her. You saw her. You said you saw her. You got her out the water. You said that you saw her. It's night. It's the night beach. It's Punta Cana at night. Punta Cana at night. Oh, but wait, there's lights. Take a look at this. Holy shit. Well, this is just one area. That doesn't mean it's lights all over, but that's one area. You can see all the lights. It's. Oh no, but it can, yeah. See, yeah, there's certain areas that is dark. Yeah, there's certain areas that is dark. Yeah, I saw the video of her friends leaving. It was it was still dark. Guys, I'm gonna do some heavy thinking. I'm gonna do a little bit of research and some. I'm gonna see how far the stretch of this beach goes, but I'm gonna see if there's a documentary on kidnapping or anything like this where I can see some type of similar patterns here, because she needs help. She needs our help, guys. Regardless, she needs our help. And I'm going to do what I can in the name of Sudiksha. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the stream. Thank you. We got part 3 of this case coming tomorrow. You have to subscribe and be here. Also, hit the like button. Leave a comment after we end the podcast. hit the like, subscribe. Please make sure you subscribe to my second YouTube channel where we take away from true crime and have some fun. Join the Discord where we all talk and you will get the 100% notification when I go live. I want to thank all my super chats for today. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate the super chats. Also, I saw super stickers and super thanks that you left at the comments. Thank you so much for that. And thank you all for liking, for sharing, for watching. I appreciate you so much, and everyone who's here. You guys are incredible. Incredible. This cyber journalist, it's his bedtime. So thank you guys. I love you, and like I always say, do good and die great. And let's find out where this girl is. And I'll see you on the next one.